The McLibel case. The McDonald's Restaurants versus Morrison Steele, colloquially the McLibel case, was a long-running English court action for libel filed by McDonald's Corporation against environmental activists Helen Steele and David Morris, often referred to as the McLibel II, over a pamphlet critical of the company. The original case, considered by some scholars to be a strategic lawsuit against public participation, SLAP, lasted 10 years, making it the longest-running action in English history. A feature-length documentary film, McLibel, was made about the case by Franny Armstrong. Although McDonald's won 2 hearings of the case in English court, the partial nature of the victory, the David versus Goliath nature of the case, and the drawn-out litigation embarrassed the company. McDonald's announced that it did not plan to collect the £40,000 that it was awarded by the courts. Since then, the European Court of Human Rights, ECHR, has ruled that the trial violated Articles 6, right to a fair trial, and Article 10, right to freedom of expression, of the Convention on Human Rights, and awarded a judgment of £57,000 against the UK government. McDonald's itself was not a defendant in the appeal. On February 15, 2005, the pair's 20-year battle with McDonald's came to an end with this judgment. So I watched this film called McLibel, and I found it quite interesting. It was amazing how organized McDonald's seemed in its attack against these 2 British citizens. They came in with many very expensive lawyers with a very complicated case to attack these 2 people who simply said that McDonald's food was not good for your health, that McDonald's Corporation was not fair to its employees, and that McDonald's was not good for the environment. And they did it in a pamphlet, a small piece of paper folded that they handed out to many, many people. And McDonald's accused them of libel. The original makers of this pamphlet were not simply the McLibel II. In fact, there were more people involved, but when McDonald's set up a libel case against them, they dropped out. They were asked to apologize officially for saying bad things about McDonald's, and the other members of the group chose to do that. But the 2 main members, or the 2 that lasted throughout the 20-year struggle, refused to say sorry because they felt that there wasn't anything to be sorry for. They felt that they had not told any lies, and they wanted to stand up for the rights of people to know about and protest against large corporations. It was a very interesting movie. The 2 characters were quite unique. Not always were they shown in a positive way. The man, whose name was David Morris, in fact, comes out quite unflatteringly in the way he treats his son. He seems to care more about this libel case than he cares about his son. I'm sure that is not true, but there are times where he talks about how his son, says, I want to see you, I want to spend time with you, and the father is just too busy because of his political activities. It is quite interesting. In Britain, it seems, the burden of proof is really in the hands of the person who is accused rather than the accuser. So it was quite ironic and sad that the McDonald's Corporation, which has billions of dollars, didn't have to prove every point of the case. It was up to the McLibel II to disprove what McDonald's said were the lies that they told. So it was quite interesting watching this true David versus Goliath case. And in the movie it explains that this situation led to other situations where people would openly criticize McDonald's. And because this pair of people continued in their fight and won out, even though the court said that they should pay money, they never ended up paying the money, and McDonald's never pursued the money. it was seen as a triumph for the small guy against the large corporation. And after that, McDonald's no longer sued people who criticized them. For example, Super Size Me, a documentary where a man eats McDonald's every day for many days and it injures his health. There was no libel action against him and against other protesters. So, in fact, the McLibel case seems to have been very good for citizens versus corporations. I enjoyed this film. I wish that it had had English subtitles. It would make it much easier for my students and for people in general to enjoy the film. It was quite nice because it was a documentary about Britain and about the British legal system, so you could see how different it is from the American system. For example, lawyers wear white wigs and long black robes, so it kind of looks like a judge out of an American movie from a long, long time ago, but that is how lawyers still dress, at least for some cases, in the British court system. So I recommend this film. I think I would probably give it a 7 out of 10 as a score. So I recommend that you watch it. If you would like to, please come to 203 Lambda, and I will be happy to lend it to you. That's all.